Rally to Portugal, back to gravel. Welcome everyone, good morning, and welcome along to Shakedown as we join Sebastian Ogier and Julien Ingrassia, our World Rally champions of 7 times, getting ready to tackle the Shakedown stage this morning. I'm Bex Williams, alongside me is Julian Porter as we bask in the sunshine here in sunny Porto. Good morning to you, Jules. We are back to gravel. It's been a while, hasn't it?
It has been a while. I think the day is from tomorrow, but I did read on the website 222 days. I did actually double check it because I can't been that long since Sardinia, but yeah, 222 days tomorrow is when we were last on gravel. Ogier and Neuville first on the road, courtesy leading the World Championship.
They are indeed leading as we head into Rally to Portugal. Welcome along to you wherever you may be watching in the world right now. As you can see, blue skies and sunshine, very different story at the start of the week. We had quite a bit of rain. It's going to be very interesting with what happens to the surface this weekend. It's going to dry out, but it has been quite a lot of rainfall across Europe, especially in this region over the past few weeks. So maybe not such a headache for first on the road for Ogier tomorrow. Let's see how much it changes with 22 degrees forecast out there today. We're at the Baltar Shakedown stage. This has been used for a number of years now, so the drivers are very familiar with it. 4.6 kilometers, and it's the optimum time to make sure that everything is working fine with the cars, that they have the best setup as possible, because you can't get quite the best setup ever going into the weekend ahead. 20 stages here in Portugal for you, all which will be live across WRC Plus, of course, your window into the world of rally.
I was actually chatting to Seb last night about this first on the road situation, and he said the rain has helped. He said there's a couple of real rough stages, particularly the first one on Saturday morning is going to be quite demanding, even on the first pass. He's told me yesterday that there is some humidity and dampness forecast for tonight, and he's hoping that it is actually going to be a bit heavier than that, because he goes, it's not at the minute such a disadvantage being first on the road, but he said I could just do with a little bit more of a helping hand.
He said he doesn't go to church very often, but he is praying for rain almost every day. It's probably the only thing he does pray for on rally events, especially when he is first on the road. He's got a great record here in Portugal. His first ever win in the WRC was here back in 2010, not in this region, down south in the Algarve. He's won this event 5 times in total. He's looking for a record-breaking 6th victory this weekend. You never bet against him, even when he is first on the road on a gravel rally.
As we parted last night in the service, I went, look, you've done it so many times first on the road and won it. If there's no one better at it, and there isn't. It's like in those head-to-head fights that we saw in Croatia with him and Evans. Elvin, it was stacked in his favour, but oh, you never bet against you. Just madness to bet against him. He's such a challenger. And we did an interview yesterday with Neuville, and I asked him who did he fear most of his rivals. He goes, over a season, it's Ogier and Neuville.
Absolutely. I mean, this man knows how to do it well. He is not 7-time champion for nothing, is he? He's heading towards now the stop control, where he should join our stage end reporter, Seb Marshall, who is joining us for the weekend. Co-driver Seb, back in action as a stage end reporter for your pleasure this weekend. Second in the championship now then, Thierry Neuville and Martin Vidaga. They've been 3rd on every single rally this year. They are the consistent crew, along with Tänak Katsuta, who's been 6th on every rally so far this year.
6th win at Rally Portugal. Is that realistic from first on the road?
Well, depends on what condition we have tomorrow morning. If it's dry, we know it's not really realistic to talk about winning, but we will give our best, like always, see what we can do. And some cloud are planned from tomorrow morning, so maybe some low cloud break, little humidity, that could help us for sure.
Exactly what you were saying, Jules. You know, that's what he talked about last night when he was talking to the press. He is hoping for that cloud cover, that humidity to help him. Even Thierry said, you know, it would help if we could have a little bit more moisture. Being second on the road, he is still hampered, obviously, by the sweeping. He's also hoping for a little bit more cloud cover, but as you can well see from the skies here, it is...
Oh, it's a big slide.
I would have loved to have seen that from the outside. That just kept going.
Just back it in there, Thierry. Go on. That was huge. It just kept going. And I thought he's going to get this absolutely perfect if he nails the throttle at the right time, but it just kept going backwards and backwards.
It is the first run of Shakedown. The time we do have on the board for Ogier is 3 minutes 11.2. Now, it's the first time, obviously, the drivers will be using the Pirelli tyre on a gravel surface. So it'll be interesting to hear their feedback on that also. Neuville then 1/10 of a second down from Ogier's time.
He lost a second or so in that slide. I'd love to have seen that from the outside. That was huge. But coming off onto the tarmac, and it's just got wider and wider with dusty surface on the top.
Elfyn Evans now then and Scott Martin. What a battle we saw in Croatia. You mentioned it a few moments ago. I think the Wolf Power Stage in Croatia was one of the standout power stages for a long time, with a huge battle.
It looks like Thierry drove off. There was some discussion between the pair of them and that little run down to the stop line, so we can focus more on Elfyn and Scott.
Watch all the stages then this weekend. Make sure you don't miss a minute on the gravel stages here in Portugal. We will be covering all 20 of them, of course, here on WRC+. Tänak now then and Martin Ogier. Really searching for a good result here. It was a frustrating Croatia for him.
Really frustrating, because we know that Oit and Martin are faster than that, they're better than that, and it was just coming off the back of that dominant display in Lapland, and then to kind of be just hanging around in 4th place and not really being able to do anything. So let's see. Even he admitted after the event he has work to do with this car on tarmac, so let's see what he can do. Now he's back on gravel. But still, again, we go back to last year, such limited time in the cars for these lot. But a lot of drivers are that, with the season cut short last year. You know, Ogier, Rovanperä, Evans, Tänak. So there's a few of them who are still building up that huge mileage.
Good run from Elfyn Evans there. Is the fastest time on the board, 3:08.7 for Elfyn. Then it's Ogier with a 3:11.2, Thierry Neuville with a 3:11.3. As we switch back to the crew that won this rally back in 2019, and we'll hear from Elfyn with Seb.
Elfyn, you've been on the podium in Portugal before, fighting for the win last time. Is that possible?
Yeah, of course, that's always the goal, you know. We're going to try our best, but let's see. Tricky opener here, you know, quite low grip, surprisingly low grip, but all okay.
Briefly, both, please.
Yeah, Seb asking Elfyn there if it's possible to win. The highest position he's had is second back in 2018, but he is desperate to get on the top step of the podium. You know, it's been an array of drivers, an array of different marks that we've had on the top step of the podium in the past 5 years.
It's a different driver, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's quite an amazing start,
different team, it's incredible. Will it be a different driver this weekend? Tänak obviously taking the spoils back in 2019.
He made his debut here, didn't he? There's a few of them actually made their debut here. Breen, Tänak, I think Gus Greensmith, it was his first rally outside of England. So it's quite a place where people seem to come and learn and learn their trade. Maybe it's easy to get to, and it's a good event. Big entry, WRC 2, 3s, juniors. Lots to keep us activated and interested in over the weekend.
Watching the countdown then to Evans' fastest time on the first run of Shakedown this morning. That's where you join us here in Portugal. And it is a little bit slower, 0.7 of a second slower than Elfyn's first run through. So we have now 4 drivers who have completed the stage so far. As we switch to Kalle Rovanperä and Jone Halton, and they were leading the championship, of course, heading into Croatia, but off very early on the opening stage of the opening day there, put them out of any point scoring in Croatia. It does give them a slightly better road position here though, Jules. That's the upside, isn't it? Let's hear from Oit.
Winner of Rally Portugal last time. Is that possible to walk on the road again this year?
Everything is possible this year. I mean, yeah, it's just about to get the feeling and to get the confidence. But I mean, yeah, for sure, everything is possible.
And in Estonian, please.
Anything is possible, and I think I've said it before, you know, this is my favourite point of a rally because you just don't know what is going to happen next. It's the anticipation of who is going to be in those podium positions. What drama are we going to see? Who's going to set the world alight with times? The anticipation is fab.
At breakfast just this morning, a couple of the guys said, so who's going to win this weekend? And gone are those days of where you could say an Ogier or a Lowe. We have what we call 4 A-listers, or what I call 4 A-listers, but then you've got your Rovenperas and people like that who are so close to it. It is massively open. You could put the gravel surface in and the road sweeping. That just concertinas it all up. It is anybody's. Yes, you have your people who probably have a stronger chance, but such is the competitiveness of the field with the cars now. We've had them for 4 years, and the drivers getting so up to speed. It is interesting, and we're just going to go outside of that. Second quickest, though.
Yeah, second quickest to Elvin Evans' time then. Full calorie Rovenpera 3:09.3. Good morning, everyone.
Well, you've got to remember as well, we didn't come here last year, so Rovenpera has not driven a World Rally car here.
That's true, yeah.
Just little things like that, you actually forget that we, you know, oh yeah, Rovenpera's been around for 2 years. He must have done this rally. No, he hasn't, because we didn't come here. Here we go now. Takamoto Katsuta and Dan Barrett. 3 6th places for the Japanese driver so far. Rovenpera about to be interviewed by Seb.
Kalle, it was a bit of a disaster in Croatia on stage 1. What's the target this weekend?
Yeah, I think the target is the same as always, just to drive a good race, and it's nice to be back in the gravel. First time now driving in this kind of almost dry condition on these new Pirellis, so it will be big learning for us, but it's nice to see how it goes.
What he's referencing there is virtually everybody, apart from the Hyundais, tested in wet conditions. Hyundai came here before Croatia, and it was dry. Everyone else came here after Croatia, and it's been wet. So they are lacking dry running on these new tyres.
Looking like a pretty aggressive run so far on this first.
It's Takamoto. He's flamboyant.
He is flamboyant. As I mentioned before, he's been 6th on every single rally this year so far. I'm keen to see what he can do on gravel. We saw some great times coming through from him on tarmac in Croatia.
Yeah, a couple of stage wins there. You know, we had Monza, he was on the pace. Ex-Formula 3 driver, probably would say favours gravel. But then Estonia last year, his stage times were brilliant until he had that shunt.
Let's have a look at his time here. It's going to be pretty...
Oh! Here we go.
Great time on the board then for Tänak. I know we're getting excited. It's only Shakedown, guys, but hey, we can't contain the excitement this morning. Taka Katsuta then is the quickest through on the first run of Shakedown, 3:08.3. What a dream debut in a WRC car for Adrien Fourmaux. Just a few weeks ago in Croatia. And not quite the auspicious start here, though.
And we're also just talking of boards, we're just getting some messages in. I think that's what you were studying, Bex.
It was, yeah. Green Smith has some technical issues, so he will not start on his scheduled time at Shakedown.
Yeah, it's quite funny. We have an internal group. Mads Osberg actually texting us on it.
Let's hear from Taka.
Taka, hello. So, fastest through Shakedown so far. 6th place on the road. What's your target for the weekend?
Yeah, it's gonna be a tough weekend as always, but I try to push as much as possible this event because a bit more familiar, of course. First time in this rally with WRC, but I try to push, and of course I need to study some point, but yeah, try to push and let's see what I can do, and I will have enjoyed this rally.
Dani.
I loved Taka's recognition of Seb there at the stop line.
I'm unsure whether we can beat that, and we're only on the first, we're not even under the rally. Seb, that was brilliant, absolutely brilliant.
Interesting point Taka makes, though, you know, it is familiarity. We've had 2 new rallies for the drivers, brand new sets of pace notes. Now they come back to a rally where, for the majority of them, you know, they've done this a number of times, and then you have drivers like Adrien Fourmaux who haven't. But it is familiar for a majority of our drivers coming back now to Portugal. Only 2 new stages this weekend for them to tackle.
If I'm talking to Adrian's co-driver just at breakfast, and I said, they're looking forward to the weekend. He goes, this is going to be far tougher than Croatia. Gravel, first time here, first time on a World Rally Car on gravel, 1 day of test in the rain. We've got a big challenge this weekend. And I would say 7 or 8 of that went at the start.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, I just don't know whether he got the launch right or whether it was not connected in properly. So
he did have such a great time in Croatia, though. He was, what, 2nd quickest twice there on the Saturday, and just, you know, the attitude from Fourmaux I thought was absolutely spot on. Very mature attitude.
He's got to enjoy this weekend, because I think he had expectations in Croatia because of the tarmac. If he can enjoy himself this weekend, that's the key.
Adrien, a stunning debut in Croatia, but onto the gravel now for the first time in a WRC car. What are your expectations?
I'm just happy to be here, to be honest. It's a really nice experience to me to take on this rally. First time here, and there will be a challenge because we have a muddy test this weekend, so the last weekend, so it will be the first time here on dry, so it changed a lot. But I want to enjoy. It was nice to drive. I just stalled the engine at the start, but yeah, doesn't matter. It's a shakedown.
Exactly, it doesn't matter, it's the shakedown. I can see Faf on his helmet there, Jules. You know the story behind this?
Yeah, I do. Sordo into the stage here, but yeah, Adrien has a new crash helmet, as you can see, Red Bull livery crash helmet. He has Faf on it. One side of his crash helmet, his stages that he dreams of doing in the World Rally Championship, and the other side of his crash helmet, stages that he has done that he dreamed of doing in the World Rally Championship. Little names and little symbols of those stages.
That's great. That's such a fantastic thing to have on your helmet. We welcome Dani Sordo back to the championship. Then we saw him in Monte Carlo, of course, but this time, brand new co-driver alongside him in Jorge Rosado.
Yeah, an experienced guy, Pepe Lopez, Benito Guerra Jr., things like that. So Sordo, for me, is the real dark horse. If this partnership can work well from the start, 9th on the road this weekend, he's got a big opportunity. You know, we saw him leading here last year, 2 years ago, until the fuel-related issues, pressure, whatever, I'm not quite sure. Someone else with a new co-driver.
Yeah, Pierre-Louis Loubet then. We watch and we'll wait for Dani Sordo to come in. Let's give you Sordo's time.
It's 1.7 down, wasn't it?
3 minutes, 10 seconds exactly, yeah. 1.7 down from the fastest. So let's hear from Dani.
Gauche 130 mètres, gauche 130 mètres, sur droite à fond 60 mètres, ciel sur droite 140 très vite, sur gauche à fond 30.
Dani, welcome back. It's you've been leading this rally in the past, but it's now the first event with for you. Does that make it more of a challenge?
I don't understand very well with the helmet, but yeah, it's really nice to come back here to Portugal. It's tricky after a long time, but it's okay. I'm quite happy with the car. Very slippery conditions, and it's not easy, but it's okay. Quite good.
Now, we talked to Dani last night about the fact, you know, Friday, tomorrow, when we head out onto the stages, there's no midpoint service. Just a tyre fitting zone in the middle of the day for them to change tyres.
We're really quick down here. We're really quick. Maybe it's just because we're on the bumper, but we were going pretty rapid.
Bumper cam in full effect on Loubet's car this weekend. Dani said, you know, you can't think about the fact that there's no midpoint service in a long day. He said, if you start to think about it, mistakes will creep into your drive, because you make a mistake tomorrow, you're carrying it with you the whole day if you do any damage.
Right, no, it's not only carrying it, but if you have to then retire 10 minutes per stage, there's a lot of stages tomorrow. You just cannot afford to be dropping 10 minutes, or, as you say, you damage the suspension at the start of the day, and you've got to, unless you're carrying. Obviously, they will carry a few more bits in their car tomorrow, I suspect. But
there we go then. Time for Loubet on the board, 5.3 down from Katsuta's fastest time on the first run of Shakedown this morning. That's where you join us. It's Rally to Portugal, the first gravel event of the 2021 season. Welcome along, everyone. Marco Balassier now then. As you notice, we are missing Greensmith. We did mention he does have a technical issue, so he won't start Shakedown on his scheduled time. Let's hear from Pierre-Louis.
The first event with a new co-driver. What can you expect for this weekend?
Yeah, to take the confidence back after our difficult seasons, the start of the season. So I hope we will do a good race and take maximum confidence.
And in French, please.
Yeah, Neuville obviously was off in Croatia, wasn't he? Quite high speed off. And yeah, let's see. But someone else we're missing, not actually on the day, we've been missing him since Monday. Andreas Mikkelsen, who can't be with us this weekend, tested positive with all the checks that we have to do before we can enter a service park or enter an event. Unfortunately, testing positive for COVID. So we wish him a speedy recovery, and hopefully he'll be back in 10 days' time, isn't it, when we're in Sardinia?
Yeah, back-to-back events coming up, which is fantastic. But I think the battles within WRC 2 and 3 this weekend are going to be pretty tasty, because we have an incredible array of drivers again. But to see them on gravel, and you know, for a lot of drivers like Balassier's not been here before, this is going to be a huge challenge for him out there. But it's going to be tight between quite a few drivers, so we'll be keeping a close eye on 2 and 3. We've got our junior drivers as well back in action here in Portugal. Their debut event was in Croatia. It was John Armstrong who won that event, leads the championship heading into Portugal.
Just thinking, you say obviously Balassier not being here, but also now Balassier first on the road tomorrow in WRC 2. So no lines of like his teammate Mikkelsen to follow, who's been here many times. So be interesting to see how Marco gets on. But as you say, what an entry, you know, Suninen, Osberg, Lappi. I mean, Balassier must be looking at it thinking, oh my word, I'm up against it this weekend.
And there is Esa-Pekka Lappi, who you mentioned. He was obviously the winner in WRC 2 with the Arctic Rally. That feels like such a long time ago now, doesn't it? You know, what a switch from the snow now to the sunshine and gravel of Portugal.
Well, when we saw Sordo, I was thinking, when did we last see him? It was Monty. It still seemed a long time ago.
Let's hear from Marco with Seb.
Marco, the sun's shining now, but it's been wet in the lead up to the rally. What are the stages in condition-wise?
I think the conditions that we had on Reiki maybe will not be the same for the rally. So we have to. The tire decision will be very hard, but I think we had good pace notes. I like a lot the roads, and I'm happy to be at first time here in Portugal.
We're happy to see you in action this weekend. And of course, Esa-Pekka Lappi as well, and Jarne Firm. They've had success in the WRC 2 category, winning that in 2013. 5th overall was their best result in WRC terms in Portugal.
Yeah, he won his first ever stage here, didn't he? He was in this event in whatever year, 19 or something. He won his first ever stage, or 18. That camera angle does give me slightly scary, because it's really. It makes it look like he's about to cut every corner. Look here, it looks like we're going to drive into the bank. I'm thinking that.
I'm loving it. I love that camera angle, but I know it
deceptive, really deceptive.
It is deceptive. Okay, let's have a look at his time then. Let's compare it to Balassier's. So 3:14 for Esa-Pekka Lappi, and it was a 3:21.4.
Both smiling away. You got to remember how much they enjoyed Lapland. Just back into it. No big stress, no big pressure. That was what rallying was all about.
WRC 2 winner from Croatia, winners from Croatia, Mads and Torstein.
As well as our internal group messaging informant of what's going on out on the road.
He's great. He'll always be a TV reporter for us. Let's hear from Esa-Pekka, EP.
EP, welcome back. A dominant win last time in the Arctic Rally. Is it going to be as straightforward this time in Portugal?
I don't think so. For sure we try. And I'm sure we can be on the fight for the win, but the level of the competition is wider in this rally, and I'm really happy that it is. That we're going to have a proper fight this weekend.
Proper fight, I love it, proper fight. I mean, this is a support category, but it's equally as competitive as the main event. Potentially, maybe, it's a bigger depth of potential winners when you look at who's in there.
Proper fight. That's what we want to hear from all of the drivers. That's what we want to see during the weekend, and you will see it across WRC Plus and our 20 stages, which we will be showing live. We actually kick off with ceremonial start tonight.
Mads are here, obviously. Mads won in Portugal. Well, whilst he was eating steak in the restaurant one night on Sunday night, but
that's right.
He's been doing a lot of testing, a lot of developing since Croatia. Actually did a rally in Hungary last weekend, but on tarmac, so he's just got to switch his brain back now to gravel. But these WRC2 drivers, they have been testing or doing events non-stop since Croatia.
Yeah, keeping themselves fresh. Lots of regional events have been put under the belt.
It really, the manufacturers are seeing the value in this, because these are all customer cars, they're all to be bought. And the top-line drivers have been hired in to showcase these cars.
For Rosberg, it's a 3:19 then, so Lappi with the 3:14 is our quickest in WRC2 so far. And we welcome back as well to WRC2 Dani Sordo. We saw him in this category in Croatia. And it was a good fight to the front, wasn't it?
I was going to say, I thought he excelled in Croatia on tarmac, you know, I thought he was really good.
Let's hear from Mads.
Mads, victory last time out in Croatia. It's going to be a bit of a challenge this weekend to repeat that, though.
Yeah, for sure. The competition is very strong, so yeah, I think it will be really an exciting weekend. Very rough, and the weather is playing some games as well, so it will be a tough weekend, no doubt.
We like it. The weather playing some games. What's he heard?
Well, I think it's all about, you know, the cloud cover that potentially we will have Saturday, Sunday. It was supposed to be beautifully sunny all weekend. It's starting to change a little bit. Will there be moisture in the air? Will it be a little bit damper than maybe they're expecting? Today it's going to completely bake out, isn't it, with sunshine and the temperatures that we got. Will it change again?
And is that kind of in places clay surface, which again gets really hard and crusty on the top, and it just kind of polishes up in places if it's really baked. So it's not going to be simple. 2 or 3 drivers saying that the conditions will be very different from when they recce'd it to when they rally it. And that's because the first day of recce on Tuesday was in thick fog and rain. So it'd be interesting to see what goes on.
So Suninen's time then, it's a 3:17.6 to Lappi's 3:14. So sandwiched in between Lappi and Rosberg. As he makes his way to the stop control shakedown stage. And Seb Marshall is with us this weekend as a stage end reporter. He's joining Molly Pettit. They will be covering all of the stages.
This pairing got their first ever podium, didn't they, here? A couple of 18, wasn't it?
Yeah, third overall, wasn't it?
Teemu, it looks like you might have a puncture on the front left. Is that going to be a feature of the rally, do you think?
I think so. Yep, I think so.
How are you looking forward to this second event in the RT2 car?
Yeah, that's interesting event and quite challenging us, a challenging one. So we are doing our best.
And in finish, please, briefly.
Well, good morning to the sunshine of the Vodafone Rally Portugal. We are in the service park. As always, joining me is Paul King. Now, good morning. Now, everybody said it was cold. We've got our shorts on, Paul. It's fantastic weather.
First time this year, and it's nice to have the option, isn't it? I mean, obviously, we wouldn't do it in Monte Carlo or the Arctic Circle, and Croatia, we were almost there. But yeah, we're finally, summer's arrived, and great to be back on the gravel, which is obviously the big talking point this weekend, because it's such a crucial time of year. It's the first time all these guys, we've got a big run of loose surface rallies now, and all the drivers and the teams behind us are all really, really fascinated to see where they're going to be on this surface.
Yeah, indeed. Road position for this rally is going to be a big deal. It all builds up to Friday morning and 20 stages to unfold throughout the weekend. Of course, we will be here bringing you all of the action. Now, shakedown standings as they are at the moment. Tänak went through first. It is only the first run through. Of course, there'll be more runs through, but just let's have a look at, wrong hand, the other way. Tänak, as he's just gone through fastest, and then Elvenev. Now, Gryazin has just come through to the stage end, so let's hand down to Seb Marshall and hear how he found it.
Nikolai, it was a strong rally in Croatia until the final day. What are your expectations for Portugal?
We'll see. It will be nice because last year we have sometimes a good pace, but we'll see because I don't know what will be with the weather and with the tire choice. It will be a little bit maybe difficult, but yeah, for the shakedown we just made the easy run to check if everything works. Quite slippery, so for me it's okay.
Yeah, well, there's lots of talk of the weather out there. Here's the shot of Gryazin going out through shakedown. Now, Mads mentioned the weather as well. We're, of course, talking about basking in the sunshine, but there's going to be a lot of different things thrown up. He also mentioned tyre choice. Everybody's gone out on hards, obviously, for the shakedown. But there's going to be lots of jeopardy out there this weekend.
Yeah, today. I mean, it's more about it's a real sandy surface here in Portugal, normally in the morning loop, and it has been quite. I know we're basked in beautiful sunshine right now, but there's been a lot of rain earlier in the week, so this sandy surface can get quite rutted, and normally when it is dry, certainly in the afternoon loop, it's going to be really tough to decide, you know, or certainly manage the tyres. The tyre wear is going to be really, really tricky. So yeah, it's massive. You know, we get some long stages as well in that afternoon on the Saturday, and it's a real tough decision to make. And it's not just the decision, it's about managing the tyre wear. There's a real long loop as well there. No service, I think, on that day. It's going to be difficult to manage, and that's what's going to be key. It's not just about the fact that we're on gravel and about the tyre choice. It's also, I think, Eric Camely here.
Yeah, Eric Camely. Let's hand down to Seb Marshall, who's down at the end of stages and at the end of shakedown for us this morning. He'll be opening that door, so down to Seb.
Eric, first time in the car since Monte Carlo, but conditions are a bit different here. What are your expectations for the weekend? What's the target?
I will try to do my best and going fast as much as I can. That's all. That's all.
That's all very simple. Here's a shot of him coming through shakedown, looking very dusty, and a very cool shot going through that dust. There's going to be plenty of that out there, PK.
Got to say, Kiri, as well, what an amazing lineup, WRC2 this weekend. Even, you know, sadly we've lost Andreas, but, you know, you got Mads in there, you got Lappi back, you got Suninen again. It's going to be fascinating. And don't forget, Oliver Solberg is now joining, joining us as well. It's going to be fascinating. Yeah. 24 drivers as well in WRC3. There's, you know, away from our guys here in the WRC, juniors are back
juniors as well. Can John Armstrong take another victory?
There's so many talking points this week. It's hard to keep up.
Yeah, indeed. It's action-packed. So 79 crews, I should say, in total. So it's going to be a very busy weekend, full of great names. We've got celebrity names in WRC3 as well, which we'll be seeing more of. And as you said, a really, really big WRC3 category full of, as I said, celebrity names. Andreas Villas-Boas.
Yeah, former Chelsea manager. We won't talk about his his time at the mighty Stamford Bridge too much, but
PK's a Chelsea fan, just in case our viewers at home are watching.
Wonderful to see Andre Villas-Boas here. He's a massive rally fan. We'll be monitoring his progress with interest as well, and to step into WRC3. This is what's amazing about that category. I think we can see Ole Christian Veiby has now reached the time control. Let's see if we can join Seb Marshall, our roving reporter, this weekend on some of our stages.
I see you had a victory in a warm-up event locally recently. Does that give you much confidence at the weekend?
Absolutely. I think it was really good to come there and and have a good preparation. I feel ready, and it's good to drive a little bit more on tarmac, or sorry, on gravel. So yeah, it was really slippy here on the shakedown. I didn't expect it to be that slippy. So I went really wide some places. So let's see what we can do to get a bit more better feeling for the next loop.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, well, just shots of Ollie Christian Baby going through Shakedown. They're currently 11th in the championship standings, but remember, different drivers have done different events at the moment, so it will all culminate towards the end of the season. And now we're going to go live to Oliver Solberg as he heads through the Shakedown stage.
Thanks very much, Kiri. Yeah, well, back with Oliver Solberg. Great to see Oliver here. I mean, everyone's going to have fond memories, I think, Julian, of what he did just a couple of rallies ago and how impressive he was at the Arctic Rally. It's WRC2 with a Hyundai, of course, now. And I think this weekend, we talked about WRC2 being a strong field, but what can Oliver Solberg do out there, and how much is he, you know, circled as a bit of a favourite this weekend?
He's got road position in his favour as well. I know he's not been here before, but road position is in his favour. It's kind of similar terrain to Sardinia, and we saw how well he went in Sardinia last year. So I think your Lappies and your Osbergs, Gryazins, people like this might be just starting to think, like, hang about. And he's fast. We've seen that, you know.
There's Martin Prokop just making his way in to the stop control. It's great to see Martin here at event. Have to say, to the team, best tent in the service area this weekend.
Great,
we'll show that a little bit on All Live, I'm sure. But great to see Martin within WRC2. Let's hear from him now then with Seb Marshall, and we'll keep an eye on Solberg.
Martin, a veteran of many Rally Portugals. What can you tell us about the stages this year?
Yeah, I think they picked the most difficult stages from the past, so it will be not easy weekend, and I'm looking forward because I like these rallies.
Yeah, it's his 9th appearance at Rally Portugal. Martin Prokop, he has done it many, many times.
I only remember one event he did, and that was that monster shunt in his Citroen C2 in the Junior WRC 07 or 08.
Yeah,
what a crash.
That is a good while ago, isn't it? 3:26.5 then the time for Prokop.
We backed this in as well. Solberg properly backed it in. Just looking, Lappi was still quickest when I saw that classification chart going down.
Now, as we watch Oliver make his way through, he's co-driven here, of course, with his normal co-driver who's normally alongside him, Aaron Johnson.
This could be an interesting interview at the end of this day.
It could be a very interesting interview, because obviously Seb Marshall was alongside Oliver Solberg at the Arctic Rally, and now he switches jobs completely to being the stage-end interviewer. So,
tell you what, Oliver could be a good stage-end interviewer as well. This is the pairing in there. But yeah, and here obviously the news that broke between Croatia and here, not only the signing of Neuville and Tänak, but also that Oliver will drive a World Rally Car again in Sardinia.
Yeah, exciting stuff. Certainly, this young man is having a very exciting part of his career. There's Seb. Where would he rather be, inside the car or with the microphone? It's a tough call.
It is a tough call, but being with us is good.
Oh, hello.
Oliver.
A familiar face?
Yes, a little less horsepower compared to last time, but first time in WRC2. What are your hopes for this weekend?
Yeah, definitely it's very different, and it's first time with a car on gravel, so it's something else to get used to, but very slippery, but good fun anyway, and it's a nice stage.
We've seen you've been testing the 2022 car as well, obviously the RC2 car. Is it difficult to jump between them, or are you feeling quite comfortable in all?
Well, it's a great opportunity to be able to drive so many different cars, so, you know, it's no negative point at all.
And just briefly, how are your expectations for the weekend in Norwegian, please? Or Swedish, sorry.
He was just fractionally slower than Mads Osberg through there. So, Takamoto Katsuta fastest on the first run of Shakedown for us, 3:08.3. Then it was Evans, Rovanperä, Tänak, Sordo, Ogier, Neuville and Lube down to our top 8. It is just the first run of Shakedown, of course. The stage is proper. Will kick start for us tomorrow. Ceremonial start, though, will be happening a little bit later on tonight. There you can see the WRC2s and Oliver Solberg's time just 3/10 behind Mads Osberg's time there, with Lappi the fastest within WRC2 so far. Gryazin was just behind him. So that's the way things look then after the first run of Shakedown here in Portugal. Let's head back to Kiri and PK.
Well, that is how things look after the first run through Shakedown. Now, there was talk that this could be Täk's time to shine, a good road position, and the potential to bring his first victory, which I'm sure he very much wants. Now, we are just watching him go through that Shakedown stage. Interesting that he went through there quickest.
Well, let's not forget as well, Täk's just come on the back of, he 6th place is his best ever finish. He's done 3 of them in a row at the start of this year. So, I mean, yeah, the only thing he can do is look forward. So if he can get into the top 5 now, he's so consistent, this guy, and he's great to watch. He's so many people's favourite driver. He's quite flamboyant the way he drives. I mean, I don't know what we expect from a Japanese driver, but it's certainly flamboyant to watch, and it's good value. And yeah, he's, you know, after 3 6th place finishes in a row, he's got to go one better and aim for a top 5 at the very least. Maybe a victory's a little bit of a stretch, but certainly a top 5 finish, I think, will be his aim this weekend.
Yeah, indeed. Well, let's see, because road position will certainly come into play tomorrow morning for sure. Dani Sordo also with a really good road position. Absolutely. We are expecting big things from Dani Sordo, as I know he's expecting big things out here. And Portugal can throw up any manner of winners, as we've seen over the last 5 years. 5 different winners, PK. So we certainly know from start to finish, this rally is going to be really, really exciting.
Yeah, and Dani's certainly going to be up there. He's so far down the order, as you say, road position. We've still got to remain to be seen what that road surface is like tomorrow because of this slight bit of rain we've had. It's not enough, I don't think, to help out Mr. Ogier, the championship leader over there. But it could come into play, so it's going to be fascinating to see tomorrow morning when we get out in those early stages, certainly.
Okay, well, it is the Vodafone Rally Portugal that you're tuned into for the weekend. Let's have a look exactly what's happening throughout that weekend. Okay, well, as we heard the ceremonial start, it'll be at 8 o'clock tonight. Then tomorrow morning, it's 8 stages. Trust me, it's a big, long day tomorrow. 8 o'clock till 8:30 are our times on those stages. Then Saturday, stage 9 to stage 15, starting at 6:15. And then, my goodness me, it's an early morning start on Sunday at 5:45 local time, so remember, and we'll see that epic power stage to finish up the Vodafone Rally Portugal. Well, make sure you're with us for all of the action. It's good to have you on board this morning. Thanks so much to PK and the rest of the team. We'll see you at 8 o'clock for the ceremonial start.
Watch WRC Plus on all devices. WRC Plus, all live.